The first step in becoming a crossing guard is to understand your basic equipment. In this chapter, you will learn about the obvious and not so obvious items required to perform your duties as a crossing guard.
Basic crossing guard equipment would include your bright yellow vest, your stop paddle, and the portable signs that go out into the roadway at your crossing location. Make sure you always wear your safety vest when working, and make sure it is bright and clean. Not only is the vest mandatory, it is the single most important item that allows you to be seen by drivers. Your safety vest is bright orange or fluorescent yellow-green. Besides making you more visible to drivers, it establishes your authority over the crosswalks. Always wear your vest over your jacket or raincoat. The next most important item to get the attention of drivers is your stop paddle. Keep the stop paddle clean and in good condition. If it gets faded or damaged, get a replacement from your school or school district. Other vital components of your crossing guard toolkit are the portable signs, which are also provided by your school district. We'll discuss the proper placement of these signs in a later chapter.
An area often overlooked by crossing guards is health and safety. The hot sun, dehydration, and high-volume traffic areas are just some of the issues that Arizona crossing guards face. There are materials you can use to protect yourself.
Let's begin with protection from the sun. Wearing a bright orange or yellow-green hat will protect your head and face from the sun and keep you more visible. Keeping water with you at your crossing location will help prevent dehydration. In case of emergency, it is important to have a two-way radio or cell phone with you. This will allow you to contact the school office, 911, or report suspicious activities if needed. If you do have a cell phone, remember that it may only be used in an emergency. The health and welfare of the children and families you cross every day is another important part of your job as a crossing guard. You are often the front line for the school when a child is sick or hurt at the crosswalk. You are also able to observe if any of your children or their family members are having hydration issues.
The yellow crosswalk is your domain. It's up to you to make sure that children use it safely. In this chapter, you will learn how to set up and operate the yellow crosswalk. Yellow crosswalks have a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit as mandated by state law. That speed limit is only in effect when the portable signs are in the roadway. The lower speed limit begins at the first 15-mile-per-hour sign on approach to the crosswalk.
It ends once the motorists pass the crosswalk, where they are permitted to resume driving at the normal posted speed. Passing another vehicle in a 15-mile-per-hour school zone is strictly prohibited by law. Permanent school pentagon signs are installed by the local agency in advance of all school crosswalks to warn motorists of upcoming school crossings. It is your job to place the portable signs in the street at your 15-mile-per-hour school crossing. You need to get these signs in the street in the proper sequence, usually 45 minutes before school starts. To help you, there may be yellow dots painted on the street to show you exactly where to place your signs. The first sign to be installed is the No Passing 15-mile-per-hour school in session sign. Place it on the yellow dot that is located in advance of the crosswalk. Next, you will place another No Passing 15-mile-per-hour school in session sign in advance of the crosswalk for the opposite directions of traffic. On some busier streets, you may have more than one 15-mile-per-hour portable sign to position on approaches to the crosswalk. It is important to let drivers know they are approaching a 15-mile-per-hour school crossing before they near the yellow crosswalk. So all of the portable 15-mile-per-hour signs must be placed where they belong before you position the Stop for Children in Crosswalk signs. These signs get placed on the center line of the street right at the crosswalk, so they can be seen easily by motorists coming from both directions. For wider, busier streets, you may have more than one of these signs for each approach. It is very important that all of your signs are in place and clearly visible to oncoming traffic. If you have questions about sign placement or if you need a new sign, please contact the school principal.
Once the students have finished crossing, The signs need to be removed no later than 30 minutes after the final class has been dismissed. You do this in precisely the reverse order from which you put the signs out.
First, remove the Stop When Children in Crosswalk sign. Then remove one of the 15-mile-per-hour school in session signs, then the other, until all the signs have been removed from the street. Be sure to store your signs in a secure and safe place off the street or in the schoolyard. Signs shall not block the sidewalk, and turn them away from the street so that drivers are not confused by seeing them when the 15-mile-per-hour speed limit is not in effect. If a school crossing is located directly adjacent to the school, the portable signs may be allowed to stay up for the entire school day. A signed agreement must exist between the school district and the local authority to allow for this. But if the crosswalk is not adjacent to a school, the signs must be removed before you leave your area or go off duty. Sometimes this means the signs have to be placed and removed several times a day. Doing so encourages motorists to be more willing to comply with the 15-mile-per-hour speed limits when needed. If this is a situation at your school crossing, make sure you place and remove the portable signs in the correct sequence each time you do it. Before we move on, there is one critical point we need to make. The signs do not automatically protect you from motorists. This is why it is required to wear your bright reflective vest. Your vest and hat make you more visible to drivers. Wait for appropriate gaps in traffic before you attempt to place your signs. If necessary, get someone from the school, such as a maintenance worker, to help you by observing traffic and advising you of potentially dangerous situations. Ask your school's principal to assign help if you need assistance. Once your signs are in place, your next major responsibility is to work with the children. You need to establish your authority as the person running the crosswalk right at the beginning of the school year. Of course, you want the children to like you, but it is more important that they respect you, take direction from you, and learn from you. Make sure they don't arrive at school too early. Confirm with your school the appropriate time for their arrival. Work with your principal to define safe places for the children to wait if they arrive early. It is important that you cross the children in groups, not individually. Make sure there is a safe gap in traffic before you step out into the street. Make eye contact with the drivers to make sure that they see you. Once you are sure all oncoming drivers see you from both directions, walk to the middle of the crosswalk with your stop paddle held high. Instruct the children to look left, right, and left again before entering the street. Tell the children to walk quickly across the street. Don't let them play, run or ride bikes or scooters, or use wheel shoes in the crosswalk. And keep your eye on traffic the entire time you occupy the crosswalk. Keep your paddle high even after the children are safe on the other side of the street until you step up on the curb and are out of harm's way. Teach the children the proper way to cross the street by doing it the right way yourself. Stop before entering the street, look left, then right, then left again, waiting for a safe gap in traffic. Making eye contact with the drivers is a key ingredient to safety. Make sure that drivers are paying attention to you and really see you. Remember, your responsibility is to see to it that the children arrive safely at school. If you feel that you need additional help to get the job done properly, speak to your school principal and get some help. So let's review. Always arrive at your crosswalk about an hour before school starts. Begin placing your portable signs 45 minutes before school starts. Put out the no passing 15-mile-per-hour school zone signs first on the yellow dots in advance of the crosswalk, first on approach to the crosswalk and then the other. Place the Stop for Children in Crosswalk signs last on the center line right at the crosswalk. Group the children away from the curb or roadway and wait for a safe gap before stepping into the crosswalk. Make sure you make eye contact with the drivers and don't just look at the cars. Make sure the driver really sees you. No matter who you are or what you're doing, there will always be motorists who will not stop for you. Make sure the children walk across the street quickly and without fooling around. Running, playing, riding bicycles, scooters, or wheeled shoes are not permitted. Maintain your position in the center of the crosswalk and signal the children to cross. Keep your stop paddle high above your head even after the children are across the street until you have returned to the curb. Now you are protecting yourself. Don't ever let a student do your job for you. And this is very important. Don't direct traffic. The motorists will automatically move forward when you are out of the street. Your stop paddle is lowered, and it is safe for them to proceed. You are not a member of the police force. Only a trained and sworn police officer can direct traffic. It is not your job to stop speeders or drivers that are passing other cars. Your job is to protect the safety of the children and yourself, period. You can report any traffic concerns to the city's Street Transportation Department through your principal.
Another type of crosswalk you will encounter as a crossing guard is a white crosswalk. In this chapter, you will learn how to operate white crosswalks at four-way stop locations, two-way stop locations, and other variations of the two.
Under state law, white crosswalks have different rules and regulations than yellow crosswalks. Schools are not required to provide a crossing guard at these locations. The decision to place a trained crossing guard at a white crossing would be up to the school. The location and length of time for the crossing guard to be at these locations would be determined by individual schools and their hours of operation. Your role in a white crosswalk is to provide assistance to school children crossing the location during school operation hours. This does not change the importance and vital role the crossing guard plays at these locations. The basics are still the same. You need your reflective vest, a stop paddle, a bright yellow or orange hat, water, cell phone or radio, and sunscreen to keep yourself visible and hydrated at your crossing location. Where you will notice the biggest change is in the setup of the crosswalk. White crosswalks are not allowed by state law to operate in combination with 15 mile per hour or stop when children in crosswalk portable signs. Not having to handle the portable signs allows the crossing guard at a white crosswalk to concentrate on the most important part of the job, crossing children safely. Let's discuss the types of intersections that have white crosswalks. One such location is a four-way stop intersection. These areas have white crosswalks on all four sides of the intersection to match the stop signs. These locations can be operated with either one or two crossing guards. We will discuss both options. If you are one crossing guard operating the four-way stop, it is very important to choose the right side to stand on to greet the children. This is especially important in the morning at arrival. You will need to stand across from the school where the most children cross. At the beginning of the school year, you may not be sure exactly where that is. It will only take a day or two to find out. How many children cross and when they cross can change over the school year as well. Stay in contact with your school principal for any changes to the crossing patterns. As one crossing guard at a four-way stop, you can cross up to 3 sides of the street to get children to school. It is vital that you are in control of the crosswalk and that you understand how to facilitate crossing at each corner. If you need to cross 3 corners, you will start with the corner you are on, then follow a U pattern until you are on the other corner of the school. If you have 2 corners to cross, you will cross the students in an L pattern. You will hold the kids at your starting corner while you cross the children from the opposite corner to you. Once you and the children have come out of the street and returned to your starting corner, you will then cross the group in the closest crosswalk to the school to complete the pattern. The crossing patterns are much easier with a second crossing guard. Heavy pedestrian and vehicle traffic at four-way intersections often require the schools to consider hiring a second crossing guard. They can be extremely helpful to maintain a safe crossing area in this situation. In a 2 crossing guard situation, each guard will be responsible for 2 corners. Communication between the 2 guards is crucial to the success of the crossing and safety of the children.
A more common type of crosswalk location is a two-way stop intersection. White crosswalks can be painted on 2 or 3 sides of the intersection or placed next to a yellow crosswalk.
The challenge of operating the white crosswalk at a two-way stop location is looking out for the direction of traffic without stop control. If you have 2 corners to cross, you will cross the students in an L pattern. You will hold the kids at your starting corner while you cross the children from the opposite corner to you. Once you and the children have come out of the street and returned to your starting corner, you will then cross a group in the closest crosswalk to the school to complete the pattern. Some white crosswalks at two-way stop locations have a yellow crosswalk next to them. This is a different type of crossing challenge. You will be required to set up the portable signs for the yellow crosswalk and operate the crosswalk along with the white crosswalks. The yellow crosswalks will be on the side without a stop sign. To cross students, you will need to use the L pattern or the U pattern. So let's review. Always remember to wear your bright reflective vest and bright hat. Have a clean stop paddle, water, sunscreen, and a two-way radio or cell phone. Find the corner where the majority of your children need to cross, especially for morning arrival. When operating a white crosswalk at a two-way or a four-way stop location, remember to use the L or U crossing pattern, depending on the amount of crosswalks at the intersection.
Whether you are crossing children in a white or yellow crosswalk, you serve a vital role in the lives of the children you cross. They look to you to protect their safety and ensure that they arrive at school in good health and ready to learn.
Signalized intersections often carry heavier volumes of traffic traveling at higher speeds. This traffic, mixed with pedestrians, can be challenging. In this chapter, you will learn how to operate white crosswalks at these locations and how best to keep yourself and the children you cross safe. Crosswalks are typically painted on all sides of the intersection. Crossing duties can be performed by either one or two guards, depending on the amount of traffic volume at your location. There are benefits to employing two guards instead of one, which we will discuss later in the chapter. Your basic crossing equipment is even more crucial when you are a crossing guard at a signal. Drivers are often traveling at higher speeds, so the importance of being visible cannot be overstated. Some signalized intersections have push buttons that control the walk, don't walk light and the walk cycle for the intersection. If your signal has a button, you will be able to push it to activate the walk cycle at the intersection. Once you have a group of children ready to cross and you have pushed the button and you receive the walk signal, you should look to make sure the crosswalk is clear. Then raise your stop paddle high so drivers can see it as you enter the street. Quickly motion to the children to enter the crosswalk while monitoring the amount of available walk time. If the time has run out on the walk cycle, hold the children at the corner until the next crossing cycle. Never allow children to cross against the signal, and don't ever try to extend the crossing time by staying longer in the street with your stop paddle. Extending the crossing time creates motorist disrespect for the operation of the crosswalk.
Traffic signals are typically programmed to work in sequence with nearby signals. All you have to do is push the walk button once before you cross. Even though the light may not change immediately, it will within a minute or so, and the walk signal will appear. Rushing or trying to anticipate the signal can do more harm than good.
Understanding how to operate the crosswalk while using the pedestrian push button as a guide will help keep you and the children safe. There are 3 different phases that you should be aware of that will help you be a more effective crossing guard at traffic signals. The first is the walk phase. This phase is self-explanatory. It means what it says. It is important to keep your eye on motorists who may run the red light or who might be turning right or left from a side street. This is why you need to make eye contact with the drivers and not just watch the cars. The second phase is when the light turns to don't walk and is flashing. Some jurisdictions have a countdown instead of a flashing hand. The flashing hand or countdown is a warning not to start crossing the street if you haven't already. If you are in the street when the don't walk signal begins, you still have ample time to cross. The third phase is the solid don't walk. The solid don't walk signal means don't cross. Stay out of the street on the sidewalk as far away from the curb as possible until the next walk signal appears. Motorists are not allowed to enter the crosswalk making right or left-hand turns in the portion occupied by the crossing guard. Using a second crossing guard offers more control of the crossing area. Two guards would position themselves in the same crosswalk at the same time, discouraging traffic from entering the crossing from any direction. So let's review. Staying visible with the basic equipment is the key to your safety and the children you cross. Using the pedestrian push button effectively will assist with creating the necessary gaps in traffic to cross the children. Remember the 3 walk, don't walk phases. Walk on the walk signal, finish crossing, and don't start a new crossing when the don't walk is flashing. And don't cross at all when the don't walk signal is solid and the light is red.
Like anything else in life, crossing devices and locations are always changing and evolving. Local government agencies want to make crossing safer to encourage more walking to school. Technology is helping to improve crossing safety. All across Arizona, there are examples of this technology at work.
In this chapter, we are going to discuss how these devices affect you, the crossing guard. The first example we will discuss is the hawk signal, or high-intensity activated crosswalk beacon. It is a pedestrian-activated signal that only is active after the pedestrian pushes the walk button. Hawk signals have white, ladder-style crosswalks and are only installed on high-volume major streets. You will know you are at a hawk by the unique style signal heads. A crossing guard's first responsibility at one of these locations is to make sure to activate the signal. Once the signal has turned on and traffic has stopped, you would cross children the same way you would at a regular traffic signal. One issue that you have to watch out for are cars that turn into the crosswalk while you are trying to cross the children. The drivers on the opposite side of the hawk will be at a stop sign and may get impatient as they wait to turn. Your position in the crosswalk will be important in discouraging motorists from turning into the crosswalk area. The hawk signal will go through 4 phases: flashing yellow, solid red, flashing red, and back to black or off. Phase 1 for the hawk signal is the flashing yellow phase. The flashing yellow lights are to warn drivers to either slow down to a stop or, if feasible, continue through the intersection before the hawk signal goes into the second phase, the solid red phase, and pedestrians are allowed to cross. In the solid red phase, drivers in the approach directions of the hawk signal are required to stop. Cross traffic will have stop signs and will be required to stop as well. Pedestrians from the opposite approach will receive a walk sign from the pedestrian head, encouraging them to cross the street. The third phase is the flashing red phase. This phase is the most confusing to drivers. The law allows drivers to proceed through the hawk intersection on a flashing red light if their half of the roadway is clear of pedestrians. Drivers will often err on the side of caution and wait until the signal has gone into its final phase. This indecision by drivers will require crossing guards to pay close attention. The fourth and final phase is when the signal heads are black or off. Drivers in the approach directions to the hawk signal are allowed to proceed, while vehicles and pedestrians in the opposite approach directions are required to stop. Being aware of the phases will enable you to cross children more efficiently. Another type of crossing you may have to work at is a 2-stage crosswalk. The crosswalk is painted in a white ladder style and is typically located on major streets in mid-block locations. This type of crossing allows pedestrians to cross 1/2 the width of roadway at a time. The median islands are designed to force walkers to look at the traffic before they try to enter the roadway. 2 guards are more effective to cross children at these locations. Each guard would be responsible for 1/2 of the street and one direction of traffic. A few crossing locations are now getting stutter flash devices. These are also pedestrian activated and are designed to get the attention of motorists. When they are activated, the light from the device flashes light at the drivers. They can be installed at either white or yellow crosswalks. They are typically found on major streets with a high volume of traffic. They do not slow down traffic like the 15-mile-per-hour portable signs, so you need to make sure to make eye contact with drivers as you are getting ready to cross children.
No matter what type of crosswalk or traffic control device you have at your location, protecting student safety as they cross the street will be the one part of your job that will never change. Thank you for all you do and for truly being guardians of the future.